So I'll tell you what, right from the off, this looks steep. This looks proper steep. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Wainwright number 19 is grey knots, and yeah, that looks quite intimidating. I think it's going to be one of those that's quite a short hike, you know, and quite short in terms of kilometres or miles or whatever to get to the summit, but steep, a lot of ascent. So I've got some news that I want to share. I want to get it out of the way first. I'm going to get a little bit further up and then stop and chat to you. It's nothing bad necessarily, but yeah, like I said, I want to get it out of the way so we can enjoy the rest of this adventure. It's going to be a stunner. I know it is, because the clouds, get a look at them. Can you see them? You know when you can never predict a sunset, but you know when things are looking good, you know, and you're thinking, yeah, we could get some here. Anyway, let's get a bit further up and we'll have a chat. So which fell was it when I went up recently? It was Hard Knot, parked at Hard Knot Pass. And what did I say? I said that it feels like I'm cheating. It's the same here, guys, for grey knots. And again, it's Wainwright's fault. He gives the green light. You park at Honister Pass at the Slate Quarry and you're straight up. My mapping says it'll take less than an hour. But yeah, I'm only about a quarter of the way up and I'm so high up already. The views are stunning. I'm looking forward to this one. Right, the news. Let me just get this out of the way. It's a bit of a weird one. It's not to do with photography or anything. Basically, I'm having an eye operation. Okay, and the nature of the operation, without going into too much detail, means that I could literally have it tomorrow or it could be next year. My surgeons told me anytime within the next year I'll get a call. Everything's okay with the operation, by the way. As far as I'm concerned, it's nothing like really serious, although I suppose it is. It's an eye operation, but it's an eye condition that I've had since I was well, it got diagnosed when I was 16, so I've probably had it longer than that even. Now with my videos and my content, my photography, which means the world to me, you know, this is why I want to explain this to you, you know, because it's you that support me, and I know I don't know most of you, but you feel like mates. So I just feel like you deserve to know, you know. But no, I'm going to have to start releasing only one video per week as of like this video, I guess, which is a little bit of a downer, to be honest, because I love coming up to the lakes. I love making these videos. But what I want to do is get a little bit of a backlog over the next few months, so that when I recover from this operation, I can still release Wainwright videos, YouTube videos, or wherever they might be. Like I said, they're not always just going to be Wainwrights. I shouldn't say that. Yeah, so my only other option would just to continue doing 2 videos per week, and then when I have the operation, just stop for a month or 2 and say, I'll see you on the other side, and not release anything. So I feel like this is kind of, you know, the lesser of 2 evils, the best compromise, to go back down to 1 video a week. Again, I don't want to, but at least when I'm recovering from this operation, fingers crossed it'll only be a month or 2, I can still release videos, you know. Seems like the smartest thing to do. So yeah, I really hope you don't mind, and like I said, I just really wanted to explain that to you, because yeah, I feel like this is our channel and we're all in this together, you know. I really mean that, I'm not even joking. So that's that. Yeah, bit of a downer, but I'm sure you don't mind as long as you get to see something. So yeah, another cheat fell, grey knots. Let's crack on, get up to the top. Like I said before, the evening's looking wonderful. The clouds are supposed to come in a little bit more before the sunset, but we'll see what happens. So I've been focusing most of my attention on this hike so far back this way to the Borrowdale Valley, because it's really beautiful, first and foremost, but the direction that I'm going in, I can't see anything because I'm just going up grey knots. And over this way towards Fleetwood Pike, it's, I mean, it's nice, but it's very scarred from the quarrying. Personally, I don't actually mind that. I mean, I photographed a quarry, didn't I, on the way up to Doe Crag. As long as it's right, it doesn't bother me. Wainwright hates it. Let me get that one in there. He hates a quarry, you know, and what it does to the landscape, which I get, of course, you know. But in terms of the photography, at least, you know, I quite like it, but yeah, just nothing's particularly appealing over there at the minute. Now what has been appealing is this fence, which, I mean, I think it's a bit old and weathered and battered, and I think that's why I like it, because it's got a lot more character rather than just some brand new fence. Yeah, I mean, the fence itself is all rusted, these posts are all weathered, and, you know, kind of eroding away. But I'm just using it as a nice leading line down into the Borrowdale Valley. We've got a few crags zigzagging en route down as your eye goes through the photograph, I mean. And yeah, the sky's pretty nice, a little bit of colour in it. We're probably just coming into the golden hour now. And that's a good little tip actually, you know, during the golden hour, and I'm definitely guilty of this, I'm always thinking about direct light on the land. But what I've started noticing, especially when you're out hiking, is the clouds start capturing colour in the sky, especially in summer, quite early on. And of course it's really subtle, but personally I really like that. I'm mad for these like subtle, quiet colours at the minute, you know, desaturated. So that's why this scene is really attractive to me as well. But yeah, nice and simple, leading line. I'm shooting at f/13 and focusing in one of the close fence posts, so we get a nice, decent focus throughout, you know. The mountains are obviously miles away. 1/13 of a second, so I wanted to use the tripod just to make sure that there's no shake or anything like that. That's my handheld limit, but it's a little bit windy, so I'm not in a rush. ISO 100. Our old friend the wind is back in action as we've reached the summit of Grey Knots. Oh my goodness, that is some strong wind. So it's one of them, we've got spectacular views, but you don't get them until you literally step foot on the summit. And I love them ones, you know, it's a real feeling of reward when you reach the peak. We've got stunning views right back down to Buttermere and Crummock Water and even Ennerdale Water to the west a little bit more as well. We've got Haystacks and Pillar. Oh, it is class. I've just looked on the maps. Grey Knots is 100 metres exactly higher up than Haystacks, but a very similar view and a much easier hike in my opinion for anybody that's you know, interested in coming and seeing this area. If you look behind me, you can see exactly why it's called Grey Knots, and Wainwright says this as well. The whole summit, oh my goodness, I'm going to get blown off this summit in a minute. The whole summit is just these gorgeous grey coloured crags. Loads of foreground for us to work with. We've got tarns, a few little tarns back here as well. Views back towards Great Gable. Whoa. Right, let's go and see if we can find one photograph at least. Some heavy cloud has come in, unfortunately, but I'm just going to try and work with what I've got. We're about 15 minutes till the sunset. Let's see what we can find. Oh, so apologies guys, I've put yous there. I usually like to put yous behind me so you can see what I'm photographing, but it's proper windy. In fact, it's just stopped. It's just, of course it has, it's just stopped, but it's been proper windy, so I've had to put you there. I'll try my best to explain to you my idea and show you what I'm doing here anyway. Now, when I was up on the summit just a second ago there, I was feeling a bit, I suppose, disappointed in what's happened with the sunset, you know, naturally. I thought I was going to get, you know, nice light on the land, gorgeous colour, etc, etc. But now, I'm actually really buzzing. I think this is going to be a decent photograph and I'm looking forward to the end result when I get home. So before I get into the photograph, when I was up on the summit, I was looking around at how many crags there were, you know, and thinking about like what I said before, it's called grey knots for a reason. And I thought, why not try and capture that in the photograph, in the summit photograph? That'd be cool, you know. Usually I'm trying to capture the emotion, but let's try and tell a story of the name of this fell, grey knots. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. Now on top of that, it's gone really grey, this kind of grey blue colour in the atmosphere, which I suppose I'd usually not really be mad for, you know, coming out for a sunset and expecting, you know, colour and vibrancy and orange, but it's working perfectly here, and that's why I'm so happy about this. So I've got a 16 to 35mm lens on, and I'm in at 20mm, and I'm doing a pano. It's only 3 shots from right to left because I'm really wide, and I've come to the west a little bit from the proper cairn to this area here, and Wainwright says in his guide that you get a much better view down towards Buttermere and Crummock Water and Ennerdale Water as well. So naturally I've come over here to get a better photograph, and it's worked a treat. So cheers, Mr. Wainwright. Now what I've got is this like strip, I suppose, of crag here in the foreground from right to left. It's almost like this, I don't know what you'd say, this kind of caterpillar across the bottom third of the frame as I'm composing it, at least. And honestly, as I say this all the time, you can never really tell with a pano until you get it home, because it's all kind of in your head, isn't it? But I think this is going to be like really nice. We've got a few little remains of the old slate quarries and stuff as well, which I like because they're all grey. And it's weird to be so excited about greyness, but it's just working perfectly here. And of course, we're on grey knots, like I said. So that's that. I'm focusing on the crags down here in the foreground, and I'm just putting the f-stop on f13. We'll probably lose a little bit of focus as we get off into the background, but I'm not bothered. I always think that looks quite natural. 1/4 second, ISO 100. Of course, I'm keeping the focus and the settings the same from right to left with all 3 of them photographs. Very important. I've leveled out my tripod as well. Again, really, really important to make sure that your pano stitches together properly in post. And that's that. And honestly, like I said, I'm really excited about the prospect of this one, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to turn out. Goodness me, this wind was not forecast as well. It shows you've always got to be proper careful in the mountains. Yeah, proper excited about that photograph. Like I say, you can never really tell. You've just seen it. I always find that strange, but I think it's going to be a really good one, that. Another good example, again, it depends on your own personal preference, but when it's like that really excites me, and there's no light on the land, which is like what, you know, would traditionally get a landscape photographer really excited, and of course it still does. Something about that, wow, look how moody those clouds are. I hope that shows up in the background. I think I'll be off now because that's coming in, goodness me. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and like I was talking about earlier about the old Augen operation, I suppose thanks in advance for understanding. Nothing more needs to be said about it. It's not a big deal, but just thank you for your support, really. You know, I know already that you're going to be really supportive, and yeah, thank you very much. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I need to get the heck off this mountain. I'll see you on the next adventure. Out.